thank you all for landing here. So today I will be going over some things in the LIVE2D cubism editor free version that I think it's important to know before going into making a model with this, and I guess it could affect your decision whether or not you want to buy the pro version. Just for reference, I used the free version. This model that I'm using right now, I rigged on the free version. So I don't want this to be something that deters you from getting the free version, because there is honestly so much you could do with it, and the free version has saved my life. But I think if you want to seriously get into model rigging, here's a few things you want to know. So first, this one is just something pretty simple. There is a maximum number of parts that you can get. So as you can see here on the right, ignore the fact that my parts are not organized. Usually I put them into folders, but I'm gonna be honest, I was feeling super lazy when I was making this model, so they aren't. But so here I have exactly 100. And so I had to combine some of these layers or parts together in order to meet this maximum requirement of 100 parts. So the pro version, which is the version you pay for, does not have a limit on the amount of parts, but you could see it in some places, like my eyebrows move as one unit. If you look on the left, you could see it just says brow for the layer. Same thing kind of with my bow, like on my, look at my bow. On my chest, I would have liked for each of the pieces to move individually, but I had to group some of them together so they don't. Next up is there is a maximum number of deformers you can have. And if you are new to LIVE2D and you don't know what a deformer is, let me show you real quickly. So if we go here and let me click on my breath warp deformer. So as you can see here, I click on it and a bunch of lines and stuff start showing up. And so if I click and drag here, it moves me around. And so essentially these are used to warp the perspective, I guess deform your parts a little bit, but in a good way, so that, for example, when I turn to the left or to the right, you can see the sides of my face. That's because of warp deformers. So that's what they do. And if you would try and make a new one on the free version, the additional deformers have exceeded the limitation of 50 objects. You have assigned 50 deformers are existing. Please delete the existing deformer before creating new ones. So that's something that you just want to be mindful of, because with more complicated models that have a lot of parts, you want to have a lot of deformers so you can get nice accurate movement, but here you're only allowed to have 50. Next, you can have only a certain amount of parameters. Now, I surprisingly didn't use a lot of parameters on this model, but now you're probably thinking, what's a parameter if you don't know what it is? So parameters are these things down here. Let me make this a bit bigger. So it changes, so these work with like moving different parts. Some of them correlate directly to inputs that like VTube Studio or PRP Live taken. So these angle ones, so as you can see here, we're moving. And then as you can see here, this one is just for my movement. So you can only have a certain number of these. Let me actually see what the number is, because I forget. Yep, it's 30. So this information dialog box says, it says free version. The additional parameters have exceeded the limitation. 30 parameters, or 30 objects. You've assigned 30 parameters to the object. Delete existing parameters to add new ones. So in a similar fashion with the deformers. Once again, if you want to have a lot of movement on your model, this is just something you're going to have to be wary of. Alright, so now this one also kind of works with parameters. You can only have a certain amount of parameters assigned to one object. So let's look at, let me find a good example of this. Alright, so let's look at my neck. So when I move it along angle X and angle Y, it moves. Wow. So here, it's hard to see, but these are just two parameters like linked together as one. So as you can see, the green means that I have it assigned to move with my angle X and my angle Y. Essentially, so keep that number in your head. 2 parameters. Let's say I want to make my neck move with my boobs for whatever reason. Let me just try to add keyforms to that parameter. Oh no, I've exceeded the maximum amount of parameters I can use. So basically it says, free version, the maximum number of parameters allowed per object, 2. This operation is cancelled as 3 parameters are set. No, maximum size of parameters per object for pro version is 3. Okay, so I'd say this is also pretty important to know, but so on the free version, the maximum is 2, and on the pro version, the maximum is 3. So previously with the other examples, with the number of objects and also the number of deformers, there is not a limit to how many you can have on the pro version for those, but for this part, there is a limit on both the free version and the pro version. Once again, this isn't really restricting how much you can do, it's just how in-depth do you want your model to be. And last thing we are going to cover in this, it is texture maps. So first of all, what is a texture map? I don't have a good definition on hand for this one, but it's basically an image that just lays out every single part you have, and it also defines the resolution for your model. With that being said, don't look too closely at how many pixels my model is, because like I said, I'm on the free version. So I'm going to show you a limitation that the free version has. So let's say I want to generate a new texture map for myself. Okay, they call it a texture atlas. Alright, so here we are. I've opened up the window and we have my texture atlas. These are all of my parts laid out. I'm trying to keep this PG. But anyway, so we have this. And you're probably thinking, okay, there it is. And so LIVE2D is just nice. It just automatically rearranges everything. Ignore the one that says no art mesh. I have my own little quirks to work out. On the free version here, there is a limit to the amount of pixels that your texture atlas uses. So originally when I was importing my model into here, so one of the first things that I like to do when I'm making my model is to make my texture atlas. It's just, I feel like I'd forget about it later. But so when I put it into my texture atlas, I had to resize it so that it fit within the 2048 by 2048 pixel limit, and the quality of my model decreased. So if you zoom in, the model's not going to be as like nice, shiny, and smooth as like, you know, it could be. Sorry, I'm gonna embarrass myself a little here, but like you can see all the pixels. So that's another thing. It's not too big of a deal. I hope you guys wouldn't have noticed it if I didn't mention it, but it does exist. It does suck a little, but we deal with it. That's all the things I really want to go over. It's definitely not everything that's different in the free version than the pro version. It's just things that I personally have noticed and have had little grievances with, but I mean, let's be honest, for a free version of an application I gotta pay for, this is pretty damn good. So I'm super happy with the free version. I definitely think if you're interested in learning how to rig models, if you're just starting out or whatever, definitely give the free version a go. It's really fun. You can do a lot with it. Like, there's so much you could do. You'll learn a lot of cool skills. And there is a free trial for the pro version if you want to try that out. But yeah, so that's exactly what I wanted to cover for this. And one thing very quickly, if you like my channel, consider liking and subscribing. I'm home from school. The semester just ended. You know, I am a college student. I do go to university. So I'm happy to be done for now, and I'm back. I'm making videos, so expect to see more uploads. Thank you very much, and bye!